Welcome back to the channel. I am testing this B6 kinbor because it's very small. I know I'm not going to use it, so I'm going to transfer over everything I did for January in this kinbor. So let's see how it tests out compared to the hobonichi. So if you like watching these kind of videos, just keep on watching. Alright guys, this thing is so small compared to my 4x6 photo album. Check it out. It's smaller than the photo album that's holding my stickers. Just saying. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm only gonna test out the pens that I love, obviously, on here, because there's no point in testing the other ones. I hate them. So sorry. Oh, a Tombow. And of course, we're gonna do some watercolor. So let's get started. Alright guys, so first thing first is the kinbor only has monthly views and dailies. They don't have weeklies. The hobonichi has monthly, weeklies, and dailies. So everything I'm transferring over will be the monthly and the dailies, obviously, because, you know, there's nothing for me to do with the weeklies. Here is the difference between the, I think it's a B6 versus my hobonichi that's an A5. So now I'm gonna have to zoom out just so you guys can see the difference in size. So for me, this B6 is very small. Watch me struggle while I'm writing, but I like my A5 size, so that's that. But I'm gonna transfer over everything. Let me zoom you back in so you guys can see the what's going on with, obviously, between the hobonichi and the kinbor. So I'm gonna do, I have actually 5 pens that I love using. We don't have 5 weeks, so I'm just gonna do about half with each pen. So let's start with the fountain pen. The ink I have in here is archival ink, but let's see, new years. You see I'm struggling already. Struggling to write because it's too small. But besides that, right, you'll see me struggle throughout the whole entire thing, I am sure. I just want to compare the paper because I do have an A5 kinbor that I purchased. And by the way, the kinbor actually cost me like less than 15 bucks versus the hobonichi that was 60. So alright, so that was the archival fountain pen. Next is my, this is not really it. Hold on. Alright guys, the next one is the Pentel Energel in 0.7. Let's see. KH. And this was CBS booster. Petco. At 8:30. The feel of this pen definitely feels different in this paper. Very weird. Alright, next is the Sharpie 0.7. And this is MLK Day. I feel like it don't look dark either. Weird. No work. Smudges a little bit, but that is pretty normal when it comes to this pen. The next one is the Signo Uniball Ultra Fine 207. This one is like everybody's favorite when it comes to bullet journaling and that kind of stuff, except it's not waterproof. just thinner. This is not my favorite, I'll tell you that much. I mean, I use it because I got it, but not my favorite. And it does not smudge. And last but not least, the Micron PN. Let's see, and I got KH. This is not the black. My black one ran out of ink. These last forever. I think I've had these for more than 5 years and they have not dried out. I have blue, I have brown, I have red. I want to say more than 5 years. And these are definitely like waterproof, smudge proof, all kinds of proof because it's a Micron. The only thing is, obviously it's not a click, and I hate pens that are not a click at 8 a.m. See, so here's your pen test. So let's see, do we have smudging? So sort of basically the same thing as, I think this one is a little bit thicker, this paper, because I see more of a shadow on my hobonichi, which is on here, and you can't see it, right, because now I'll be out of range, but I can see still a shadow, and it's just basically a little bit of a shadow. It's not nothing crazy. It does, the paper does have a different feel to it. Next, obviously we can't do the weeklies because kinbor does not have a weekly, but we can go ahead and do the dailies, right? So I can go here and do a few days on here to see. Got music going in the background and I want you guys to hear it, and then next thing you know, they don't let me post the video. So I'll start with one day at a time. We'll switch around the pens. Obviously the first was a Sunday, so I do have my Bible, my church notes in here. So this is why this is too small for me. I do have mommy's anniversary, and no matter where you write with your fountain pen, you always need to let it dry. You shouldn't try to, you know, rub it to see if it smears, because it's a fountain pen, of course it's gonna smear. Usually church notes I do in a different color, so let me go get my red pen. Okay, so I'm not gonna write the whole entire church notes because obviously it took the whole A5 for notes. So I know it's not gonna fit in the B6, and we're just testing this out. It's not like this is my permanent book, right? But I know for a fact that I don't like this size because it's too small for me. So I'm just gonna write a couple of personal stuff with my regular ink just so we can see what it looks like on the other side for shadows. So let's continue. Alright guys, so as you saw, we did page 1. Let's see about the shadows. So as you can see, we still have some kind of shadowing, just like the other one. But I'm telling you right now, the feel of this paper definitely feels a little more thicker than the hobonichi. So now I'm going to do some Tombow swatching on here. This is a very dark color. Let's see. Yep, same thing, shadow. Let's put hello, hello. So if I do hello, hello with the Sharpie, hello with the Uniball, hello with my archival ink, right? And no matter what you do, when you're gonna highlight, you should always let it rest a little bit before you go highlighting. So let's see, they all did pretty well, no smudging at all, which is same thing with the hobonichi. So I'm gonna continue the daily switching the pens. So I just did the fountain pen. So the next one that we're gonna do is, nope, let's do the Energel. Alright, so that was with the Energel, and as you can see, there is still a little shadowing on this side, so you can see it right here, the little shadow from the other side, just like you can see the shadow from, obviously, from day 1. So it's still the same. I'll tell you right now, as I flip through the pages does not feel like the hobonichi. The hobonichi feels more lighter, is what I feel like. So now we're gonna do the next one with the Micron PN. Now don't forget, this is a blue color because I don't have black. So let's continue. Alright, so here is day 3 with the micron. Nothing smudged, everything was fine, and as you can see, you still get a little ghost shadow on here. So let's continue. The next one is gonna be the Sharpie Energel for day 4. So here is the shadow of the Sharpie. And then here I'm gonna do a watercolor. So keep on watching. Alright guys, we're done. So kinbor, is it worth buying? Is it really a dupe? So, as you guys saw, I wrote with every single pen that I had, and it worked fine. No biggie. And I went in on the dailies, and I did go in and wrote down which each pen that I have, including the highlighters, well, the Tombos, and that was fine. The ghosting is the same, everything is the same. I do want to tell you that when the paper does feel differently, like I feel like the hobonichi feels lighter. This one does feel even my watercolor, I use the exact same watercolor I did the first painting I did in my hobonichi, which it was this one. Same watercolor that I used here, and the feel is even different. This feels chalky, this feels like nothing, like it's paper. So I mean, did it go through? Not really. It wrinkled up, but so does the hobonichi. It did go through the little, wherever the little spot is for holding down the paper. But besides that, so does the hobonichi, because that happened to me this week, where the water went through because I used too much water. Besides the feeling of the paper, it held up pretty damn good. I mean, I even used so I used watercolor up here, and the darker color is gouache, and that feels exactly the same like gouache feels. And you still get the ghosting even after for writing. I was able to write on top of the watercolor perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with that. So for, you know, less than 15 bucks for an A5 instead of 60, I guess it's alright. It's not bad. I had no problems with it. Obviously you gotta try it yourself. Don't take my word for it. It was only 10 bucks. I do have an A5, and I believe I'm gonna use it next year, but obviously the dates are off because this was for 2023. It took forever to get here, but I can just white that out and white this out and use it anyways. It really doesn't matter to me. So we'll see. But don't forget, the kinbor only has monthlies, and it only has dailies. It does not have weeklies. Besides the feel of the paper, you can tell it does feel differently. So if you don't like that, then you can go ahead and keep spending your 60 bucks on the hobonichi. But either way, I'm alright with it. I'm not that of a picky person, so we'll see. Obviously I just started with the hobonichi. You got to give me a year. Like, I just finished January, but I just wanted to do a comparison now that I have more information to write over for the kinbor. So thank you for watching. God bless. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.